Hi there, my name is Kay Moon, and I am a Western astrologer and twin flame channel. And this is a video about the Scorpio full moon for twin flames. Um, if you haven't already, I invite you to please watch the Scorpio full moon general video. It goes in depth about the energies of this Scorpio full moon and why they feel so challenging to the feminines. I'm going to build on that now here in this video, but there's a lot going on that's causing that challenge to feminine energy on the planet at this time. The first thing that I want to point out is that there is definitely some changes for feminines going on, and there will be over the next 14 years as Uranus makes its travel through the sign of Taurus. Taurus is the first feminine sign of the zodiac, Aries being the first masculine sign. With Uranus coming in for a nice long stay in Taurus, and at this time, under the light of this full moon, conjunct Venus, what's on deck right now is some transformation and change for feminine energies on the planet, especially as the North Node and Juno, the divine feminine's asteroid, move into close conjunction with this very interesting tailing energy here from Mars. I'm going to talk about that momentarily, but ladies, is there another man in the picture, even when you don't want? Because he's there. He's creeping. He's lurking around. He's knocking on the door. My mom and I are Downton Abbey fans, and there's a scene where one of the characters talks about her friend getting hit on, and she says to her something about Lord so-and-so frisking about your skirts. That's what this looks like. There's somebody there, even if you've already decided the door's shut to that. It's not even an option. He's paying attention, and you have his full attention. And it may not be a singular male. It actually may be masculine energies at large. Interestingly, so if you watched the last video, I provided the divine feminine's new moon, the new moon in Taurus. I talked about, for those of you who are twins in separation, the ways in which Juno and Jupiter, they're almost separated by an entire chart length here, almost 180 degrees. Not fully, but they're definitely not together. Not only that, but I talked about that separation being for her benefit rather than happening to her. And this North Node conjunct Juno being a big part of why, at this time, with the exposure of wounding and brokenness as it pertains to Scorpio-related things for women, that's sexuality, that's inheritances, that's money from others, grants, loans, that's also feminine sexuality and physicality. Physicality out here and sensuality specifically being different from sexuality. That's Scorpio. Sensuality being here in Taurus. There is this way in which the divine feminine's energy, given everything that this asteroid went through over the course of the last 2 years, there is this way in which now she's almost set free. Now she's being given some harmonious opportunities to, even though she's separated from her divine masculine, some opportunities to kind of bring her life into greater harmony and greater balance and greater sustainability, with Juno hanging out in Cancer for this stretch of time. Cancer being sign of family, sign of nurturing, community, family of origin, soul family. There's this way in which she's come home to herself. And if you're not feeling that way, there could be some other energies playing out in your chart. If you are especially one of the cardinal signs or have cardinal placements, Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn, if you've got cardinal placements, there's some ways and reasons why it might not feel that way to you. However, with Juno sitting here with the North Node, there is a way the symbols are speaking to a ways in which your energy is different. It has changed. It is magnetic. It is providing light, leadership, and guidance to everyone in the world at this point in time. There's a way in which divine feminines are really being put under a spotlight, not a microscope, a spotlight, so that their energy can be available and shared for the energetic upgrading of the entire world at this moment in time. Now, about said gentleman frisking about your skirts. Mars here. So there are a lot of feminine symbols and masculine symbols in a chart. I consider Juno to be the divine feminine and Jupiter to be the divine masculine, with Mars being one of the other lesser symbols of masculinity, god of war, aggression, ambition, energy, drive, raw passion, motivation. There is this kind of energy encroaching upon this family space, soul family space, this kind of like, I've finally come home to myself energy that the divine feminine is carrying. There's this masculine energy about that's, curious, like, what is that? How'd she do that? Why does she feel like that to me when I'm around her? Can I possess that? Can I own that? Can I conduct that? Can I wield that? Is it a weapon? Is it going to hurt me? Can I do something with it, with my action and my physicality? I know it's an energy and I can't grasp it, but I feel like I need to put it in my physical hands. That's Mars, that Mars energy. So there, you may see that there's, just men about the place with that kind of, I wouldn't say it's intrusive, although that's possible, but there's definitely a like, I am now going to place myself in your awareness so that you will not ignore me kind of energy going on. Now, interestingly, we have feminine illumination also happening in Taurus here. And this is, again, energies for everyone. All divine masculines and divine feminines have both within them. So there is this energy of illumination about femininity occurring with Venus conjunct Uranus. Again, I delineated a lot of that mythology in the last video. I implore you to take a look at it and have a listen, because it may give you some insights as to why you're seeing some of what you're seeing in your own life and in the world. Then we've also got Mercury conjunct the Sun here in this very sensual, very feminine, very monetary and material world focused sign of Taurus. This is illumination of the mind and its needs in the physical world and how to create that for oneself. The ambition and the drive to create it has already, it's like they came out of sync and a little bit of out of order because Mars moved through Taurus first. And now the mental capacity and the manifestation ability, that's Venus conjunct Uranus, is now following suit to create this in a more feminine way. Yet the ambition is still there for the feminine energy to go forward and build that which you know nourishes you, build that which you know sustains you, build that which you know takes care of you, feeds you and your soul family at this time. You probably have awareness and insight as to what that is at this time. And what's being asked of you is to settle into the surrender of this year. And I talked about this both in the Taurus new moon video and in the new moon video for Aries. Aries being the divine masculine's new moon, Taurus being the divine feminine's new moon. I talked about this in both of those videos. What's being asked of the divine feminine all year long is to, if you're in separation, is to settle in. Settle into the fact that this is going to take time. Settle into the fact that this is a lifelong journey. Settle into the fact that your masculine side, him is the divine masculine, and the masculinity of the world at large is in for a ride of reconstruction, reevaluation, restitution, reconfiguration. It's in for a ride of really understanding there are some ways masculinity on the planet has been quite broken. And we are all masculines and feminines, twins, other light workers, and straight up humans, no light work involved. We are all being asked to have a very good look at how we can restore balance between men and women on the planet at this time. As I said, I go in depth about the energies the divine masculine is moving through at this time, but I'll highlight a little bit more of it here. So in the last new moon video, specifically, it was the Taurus new moon video because Taurus lives opposite this full moon in Scorpio. Taurus and Scorpio go hand in hand. These are fixed energies. Under the light of this full moon, we've got this stellium of retrograde energies out here in Capricorn. This is why I say settle in. This energy is going to be going on all year long. These planets move real slow. And if you happen to be a twin in separation, specifically with a masculine or the masculine, whether you're in a male or female body, this energy is really calling you forward to take stock and redo some things in your life as it pertains to masculine structures. That's Capricorn structures. As it pertains to money, work, the way you make your money, your work ethic, your legacy, what you're here to create on planet Earth, the traditions as it pertains to family, things you've always done just because this is the way we do it, your boundaries, all of that, you're being asked to, in some ways, let some things die. That's Pluto, life, death, and rebirth. And let other things come into integritous balance. That's Saturn. Again, I explained the relationship of Saturn to this energy, this transformative energy in the general video. I'm not going to go into it here, but know that Saturn's job is to restore integrity via separation from that which has been the root or the seed of harm. So if you're finding at this time, Capricorn, again, being a work-related sign, that you're being separated in some way, like losing a job, especially since all these things went retrograde, facing a job loss, a home loss, that's Cancer, right opposite it, or you're facing the loss of anything. It really could be anything that Capricorn rules. This is why it is leaving so that harmonious balance and right order can be restored to your life at this time. Saturn's going to go direct and eventually it'll leave Capricorn. But at this time, we're all being asked in the area of our chart that Capricorn rules to let go, to let it die, to mourn the death, to acknowledge the loss. And remember that there's still life and that life is within us. Part of the reason that we're being asked to acknowledge the loss in such a significant way is we've got the moon here, this Scorpio full moons being symbols of completions and endings, Scorpio being the sign of death, and the ruler of Scorpio out here darn near trining or sextiling this full moon in Capricorn, Pluto being retrograde. This is a significant ending full moon. This marks the end of an era for a lot of people. And you may see for your divine masculine. Now, the other way this can play out, if you are a masculine energy, if you're not a cardinal sign, if you're one of the mutable signs, or you're one of the other fixed signs, you may find that some of this energy is playing out much more harmoniously to you, for you, with a bit of work ethic. It is like with these energies retrograde in Capricorn, there's an energy of if you have worked for it, you are reaping the rewards right now, but you're also having to work double hard to maintain and sustain it. This looks a lot like physical exhaustion, like fatigue that you don't even understand why you're so tired. Because you're doing all the things you wanted to do, you're doing everything that you thought that you dreamed of, you're doing as much as you can each day, and you're just tired. Like, because this is a very heavy earth full moon. The heavy earthiness of it, all of this in Capricorn and all of this in Taurus, pertains to the physical body itself. So if you're tired, that's okay. Give yourself that extra time to sleep. What's nourishing to earth is water. Take baths. Make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you've got a really balanced water energies within your life and in your home. Don't let yourself get dry. Make sure your skin stays and your hair stays hydrated, as well as your inner body. Because with this kind of heavy earth energy and this ending energy going on, this end of an era energy going on, this really connotes change. Change being in the air, change being within you. Some of it not even being fully nameable yet. It's coming. You may be consciously aware of what it is, but this definitely speaks to there was a life before this moment, and there is a life after this moment. And by this moment, I mean, this 6 to 9 months that we've been in as this Capricornian energy has been building involving Pluto. With this full moon in Scorpio, and we get one full moon per sign every year, with this full moon in Scorpio illuminating the inversion of these heavier energies in the masculine sign of Capricorn, it does speak to more of the ending sitting in the masculine place in your own life and in your divine masculine's world. Specifically around things pertaining to home. He may be moving, pertaining to loans. He may be trying to pay off the last little bit of one, or taking out a new one, which he wasn't expecting to have to take out. And now he's, scrambling to figure out how to pay it. Things he wanted to do career-wise, that's Capricorn as well. This energy really speaks to kind of a burning the candle at both ends. So even if you're a feminine with whom you and your masculine are on speaking terms and things are going fine between you, he's just consumed. He's got other stuff going on. And what I implore you to do is to just not take it personal at this time, because you've got other stuff to do. You've got this gentleman frisking about your skirts, as my mom likes to say. And part of what you're here to do is be a model to him. If he's married, you get to redefine and rewrite the way you're going to interact with people who are already in committed partnerships, creating a light for the way we redo partnerships, redo unconditional love on this planet. If this man who's not your divine masculine is a supervisor or a coworker, again, the role of the twins is to really rewrite the way we do love so that we can do unconditional love in a way that honors the truth of what that is. It's a gift from source. It's how we were created and meant to be. This person may also be, if not married or a supervisor, it could just be someone, in your neighborhood, a neighbor, or a roommate, or maybe even someone from your family who's just a little bit, I'll make sure you notice me at this time, divine feminine. He's looking for guidance. He's looking for leadership at this time, with the divine feminine symbol being conjunct this north node. So provide it. Provide that. Don't shut him out. Like, share what it is you have learned by role modeling the way you want interactions to go in the name of unconditional love. You know, I've read for clients who are polyamorous, and so what they're up to and what they're doing is working with others to rewrite the rules of the way people do commitment and relationship. I've worked with clients who um, are figuring out blended families. You know, I have kids, he has kids, she has kids, the other guy has kids, and so they're trying to figure out, okay, what are the right ways to do this so that we're honoring the truth of unconditional love, and really making sure the family is supported, not just my needs met or your needs met. Um, the divine feminine has written within her, we all do, but in particular, the divine feminine is being asked at this moment to pull it out of her, what it is that is the new way in which to model the way unconditional love looks. How do we respond to people that are wounded, who have wounded masculinity in our space? How do we respond to what are perceived threats from masculine energies in our space? Do we shut people out? Do we just take our racket and ball and walk off the court? And is that necessary? Sometimes it is. Sometimes distance speaks the loudest words. Other times, words create the biggest transformation. In this instance, with the Sun and Mercury conjunct in Taurus, this really does speak to a conscious communication and finding the right words, really sitting with yourself until the right words come forward to communicate that which you know needs to be said. Let's see, other symbols here. We've got Chiron and Vesta here in Aries, telling everyone to put their own oxygen mask on first all year. Aries being one of the signs that is centered in the self, the individual. Chiron being wounded healer, Vesta being that which we would dedicate our lives to, our own ambitions. And then we've got this interesting configuration out here in Pisces. I'm really curious to see how this plays out over the course of the rest of the year. Lilith, Nessus, and Neptune. Something about this just shouts, it shouts for a spiritual new beginning and a commitment to our own spiritual ideals, a willingness to step out on faith, to take the risk, to stand in what we know to be spiritual and higher truth. So all of that occurring under a full moon that also shouts endings, death, letting things go, restoration of integrity, while the light of the divine masculine is turned inward, and the divine intercessor, Chariklo, is also turned inward, because both are retrograde at this time. There's just this energy of the wisdom coming from women at this point in time being what's needed for the earth to heal, for our communities to heal, for our families to heal, because the men are in the process of doing some deeper work around balancing masculinity. So I thank you for watching this video, and I invite you to comment. Let me know how this is playing out in your life. I would love to know what's resonant here. And please subscribe if you haven't already. I put out videos like this on the new moon and the full moon, both general and for twin flames. And if you'd like to book a reading with me, you can do so at krysalismoon@gmail.com, KRYSALIS moon@gmail.com. That email's also in the description box below.